Tonight on Doubling Down with the Derricos airs with an all-new Tuesday, August 1, 2023 episode, and we have your Doubling Down with the Derricos recap below. On tonight's Doubling Down with the Derricos season 4 episode 9 called Let's Talk About Camping, Baby, as per the TLC synopsis. The Derricos must brave the wild when they reluctantly embark on a camping trip. Dean convinces Karen that it's time for the children to learn about the birds and the bees. An unexpected call gives Dion hope for a potential new home for his family. So make sure to bookmark this spot and come back between 10 p.m. 11 p.m. ET for our Doubling Down with the Derricos recap. While you wait for our recap, make sure to check out all our television recaps, videos, spoilers, news, and more right here. On tonight's DDWTD episode, the Derricos were still looking for a new house. Their current home was just too small. They have 14 kids, and between areas for homeschooling on top of a music room has left them with little space for themselves. Hence the new house. It's just looking for the house was proving to be more daunting than they thought it would be. Dean's friend Lee was helping them look for houses in the area. He told them it was going to be $1 million more than their planned budget if they wanted at least 7 bedrooms. Lee was over at the house when the kids mentioned they wanted room to go camping. Lee thought it was a great idea. He would think so. He was white. The Derricos, however, were black, and Dion and Karen weren't the camping type. They said it sounds like the beginning of a horror movie. All it would take was for them to see another black person running, and they'll do the same. Lee would be the only one that stayed put to wonder why everyone is running. He said as much, and so the Derricos held a family vote. They asked everyone who wanted to go camping to raise their hands. Unfortunately, the majority voted to go camping. They wanted to sleep in tents. They wanted to cook by a fire. Karen went to an outdoor store, and she got everything she thought they'll need. The sounds, the bugs, and then the lightning was what drove them all into the RV. Dion and Karen said camping wasn't for them. The kids were over it as well. It was one thing for it to rain, but the lighting was too much. That was dangerous. They all slept with Gigi in the RV. They tried camping again the next day. The kids were all out playing. They were looking for snakes. They had fun that next day, and Karen was quietly crying to herself because she dreaded taking the kids back to the cramped house. They really need a new house. Karen felt bad about how cramped things were back home. She wanted to give them space where they can run around and have a true backyard. Karen was sad that they haven't found a new house, that she just didn't have the energy to have the talk with the kids. She tried to leave the talk to others. She wanted Gigi to talk to the girls while Dion talks to the boys. Only Gigi reminded Karen that this was the job when she became mom. And so Karen did eventually tell her girls about sex. She mentioned consent. She mentioned peer pressure. She also said that sex could be a beautiful thing whether you're married or not. Dion had pretty much the same conversation with the boys. Dion had later heard that a house he was interested in had become available. He wanted to check that out, but he couldn't because they had bad internet service out in the woods. And so it wasn't until he did get service that he found out the tenant was going to stay in the house and that they lost the dream house. They were staying where they were. The family tried to keep camping in the meantime. They roasted marshmallows and made s'mores. They were also glad to show that a black family can camp, and were even happier when they left the camping ground behind them.